Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to Fear Review number 4. So this is submitted by Noobsim. It's gonna start out with the Stabby. And our opponent's gonna start out with the Wiggy and anything else. A cowbell. So on this map, I definitely would try to start off with 2 1-drops, especially if you're going first. However, the Stabby's not a bad choice. If you're going second, I probably wouldn't recommend starting out with the Stabby or Boom Angles. And he's gonna start out with a Boom as well. I'm not really sure why, but Boom isn't a bad phobia per se. But in terms of 1-drops, you don't want to capture panic points with Boom. It's so squishy, it dies to everything that's all it's gonna get to do. If you were to capture it with a Cowbell or Razor Mouse or even Contortio, there's a chance that one of those 3 will live and then you'll get a chance to do more, like such as capturing another panic point. So right there, I definitely would have pulled out like a Razor Mouse. Our opponent's gonna start out with the Wiggles. A Murder Mouse. Not Murder Mouse, a Murder Wing. And right here, our opponent makes a mistake here. He decided to capture this panic point, even though there's a Stabby in range that can easily target it next turn. You guys want to try to avoid that. I know capturing panic points is kind of one of the objectives, but you don't want your opponent to be able to get free damage on your phobies ever. So really, he could have left the Wiggles. He could have just left it probably somewhere safer. Now Noobsim is just gonna get a free shot off with it, and then I believe, yeah. So now the Wiggy can just get 1 shot at any time. Opponent's gonna go ahead and capture that top tile. He's gonna pull out an Unbearable. Not the worst use of a 1-drop. He is able to capture and then deal some damage to Woolly Bully, which isn't the worst, because especially on maps where there's no healing spot, and especially on lower ranks when people haven't unlocked Clinical or any healing phobies, it's not always a bad thing to get damage out. So definitely not the worst play, but not the best. And then our opponent makes a mistake here. Again, he leaves his Wiggy in range of Stabby, and Noobsim is able to capitalize on that. And right there, you didn't necessarily have to do all that. You could have just waited a turn. I understand you probably sacrificed the Boom so that you're able to use 2 actions on your Woolly Bully, so you can move and capture this without fear of Murder Wing being able to do much damage to your Woolly Bully. But I probably would have just had the Woolly Bully smack the Cowbell 2 times, and then probably save your Boom, and then maybe bring out like a Razor Mouse to capture panic points later. But this isn't the worst play. It's not a bad play at all. It's just you could have done a little bit more with your Boom. And our opponent's gonna bring out not a Razor Mouse. I keep saying that. A Jar Cannon. Okay, and right here, looks like you're gonna kill off the Murder Wing. I probably wouldn't have done that, because you never want to place a phobia on lava unless you absolutely have to. In this case, you didn't really have to. And the problem with this, especially since you're placing a dimensional phobia on the lava, is your opponent will have an opportunity to be able to kill off your dimensional by getting it down low enough that the lava will finish the job. So in this case, what was that, like 800 or 80? I believe your opponent does have enough on top of the lava. It's very easy to do that. And if your opponent doesn't end up doing that, the problem with this play is that, yes, you killed the Murder Wing, which is a 3 cost, but you're also going to lose Stabby, which is also a 3 cost. So it's an equal trade, and you didn't end up putting your opponent in a position where, he feels awful about killing your Stabby. you are gonna do like an equal trade, you want to make sure that you at least get something else on top of it. So right here, your opponent's just gonna be able to leave the stabby off with, what is that? Oh, I can't even see anymore, but looks like 33 HP. So especially on like lower ranks, generally you're not gonna have, unless you have a Hevo. Unless you were lucky enough to have a Hevo and maybe you, by now you unlock other tankier range units, you kind of want to prioritize your stabby. Because even though rendering is a 3 cost and so was stabby, in that exchange, I would say you definitely lost out. Stabby, as strong as a phobia as it is, you definitely could have got more value out of it. So here you're gonna bring out a Cerberus. Cerberus is actually really hard for new players to deal with, I find. However, on this map, I would say he's a little bit weak. I'd say on this map, especially one movement tile melee units, you typically don't want to use them because the middle of the map kind of makes it hard for it to get on the other side. Your opponent's going to respond with a fish tank. Definitely not a bad phobia, especially early on. So let's see what you decide to do. Okay, so it looks like you're just going to move up with your Cerberus and your Woolly Bully. Looks like you're going to look to attack the bottom half of the map. I probably would have... What would I have done? I probably would have gone up with the Cerberus. Right here, your opponent's getting ready to defend. He's gonna send a boom. So let's see what Noob Sim does. He's gonna debuff the fish tank and then move up with Cerberus. And then kill the boom off. Okay. He's gonna attack the unbearable. Okay, so looks like that's it. Okay, so a couple things wrong with that play. Cerberus, for the most part, I know it is tanky and it deals an insane amount of damage, so it'll be able to heal off like 400 for each attack. But the thing is, you don't want to place Cerberus, if you can, on like a melee unit directly in front of a melee unit or in range of a, well, really it's just a melee unit, because now your opponent has the opportunity to hit your Cerberus for about 424 and then back away, and your Cerberus will not be able to catch. So you want to place your Cerberus to where next turn you're going to be able to get off at least one shot. That's the whole point of Cerberus, is that even if it does get one shot, it's going to deal devastating damage. Right there, I think I would have placed the Cerberus probably in the middle right here. And then instead of either there or right here, and then place your Woolly Bully on this tile. Go ahead and debuff the unbearable. And then you could do the same thing with Cassowary. You know, just have it start attacking the unbearable. And then your Murder Wing placement was a little bit wrong there. You should have placed it right here, right behind the Cassowary. Because now your opponent's able to... Your Murder Wing's in range of the Charge Cannon. So now Charge Cannon can easily get 2 shots off on the Murder Wing. And then, especially since you didn't debuff the unbearable, your opponent will either kill your Murder Wing or Cassowary. And then depending whichever one lives, since they're both in range of the Charge Cannon, your opponent's able to pick it off with Charge Cannon plus Cassowary. So let's see what the opponent ends up doing. And then finally, the final mistake you did was, don't ever leave your Phobies on lava for any reason. I understand you wanted your Woolly Bully to be in range to hit the unbearable twice, but your opponent can easily just move away. In this case it won't, but there's no reason to take about 400 damage. Let's see, like I said, now your opponent's able to kill off the cassowary. If you had debuffed the unbearable, your opponent would have had to choose between killing off the cassowary or murdering. And see, this is what I mean. So you place a Cerberus down here. Problem with that is that you want your Cerberus kind of to be placed in the middle of the fight. That way your opponent's either forced to retreat or essentially just fight. Right here, since you place your Cerberus on the bottom of the map, your opponent has options. They can move up, around it, or back and retreat. Right there. Again, your Woolly Bully is gonna take another 800 damage by the 400 damage, I mean, by the time it's your turn. Right there, what I would have done, let's see, I probably would have, I'm trying to think, is there a way you could have, I think right there, I probably would have fell back a little bit, try to reposition. You can still keep pushing it with Cerberus, that's alright. Your opponent doesn't have many range units, he only has Jar Cannon actually, so he has to get up close if he wants to try to stop the Cerberus. I definitely would have probably taken a shot at the Unbarrow. Move Jar Cannon here. Probably place a 1-drop right here and move Woolly Bully down here or one of these two tiles. And probably your Cerberus, because in that scenario that I just described, the Unbearable would have been left alive, so maybe try to, instead of pushing with the Cerberus, probably just try to move back a little bit. Let's see what your opponent does. So he's gonna kill the Razor Mouth. Oh yeah, I guess that's another mistake. It's that Razor Mouth, you have to, when its ability is online, you have to treat it as a range unit. So basically, any unit you place 2 tiles within it, just think that it's probably gonna get 2 shots off. It deals quite a bit of damage. That's about, what is that, 920? And then the opponent actually opts not to hit your Woolly Bully, so it didn't actually end up killing it, which is good for you. Right there, just gonna kill off. Okay, and then you're gonna capture that bottom tile. Okay, right there, I think you got a little bit too greedy. What I would have done is just kill the Cassowary with Jar Cannon and Woolly Bully. And then you also place your Jar Cannon in range at the other one. In case you guys don't know, you don't want to do that because 2 Jar Cannons of similar level will kill the other one in 2 shots. So if you end your turn in range of the Jar Cannon, your Jar Cannon probably gonna die to the opponents. Let's see. Okay, that's not bad. Let's see. What would I have done there? I probably, well, let's see what you do. Okay, so right there, I don't know why you placed your Woolly Bully right in front of the fish tank. What you probably should have done, to be honest, was, let's see, what could you have done that was different? I think I would have went ahead and killed the Jar Cannon. Probably debuffed the Cassowary with the Woolly Bully. And then what else? And then probably moved the Woolly Bully either down here or kept it on that panic point. You kind of just sent your Woolly Bully to die and you got no extra value out of from it. And right here, there's nothing else you could do. The game's pretty much over. Your opponent can just easily apply pressure because they capture all the panic points. Now all they really have to do is just stall. And then yeah, I'm guessing you ended up surrendering. So I hope this helped you, Noob Sim. Definitely, you gotta learn how to use the Phobies to the maximum potential. I'd say one of the biggest problems you had this match was you played a little bit too aggressive. And generally, you want with the Woolly Bully, if you're gonna continue using it, you wanna debuff typically range units, which you did pretty good earlier. You did with you debuffed the Murder Wing to capture this tile, which is how you want to typically use Woolly Bully. You don't really want to debuff melee units because more often than not, they're only going to get one shot off. They really should only be able to get one shot off. You shouldn't end your turn in range of a melee unit so that could get 2 shots off. So try to prioritize debuffing their Murder Wings, Stabby, Boomangles, Unbearable, Kivos, stuff like that. I wouldn't advise using Cerberus on this map, really. If you are, you typically want to go after where your opponent's mostly positioned. So instead of, on this map, you went down instead of up, even though he had an Unbearable and Cassowary up there. You definitely should have started applying pressure, trying to regain control of the top portion of the map. Also, even though Cerberus is quite tanky, you don't wanna just rush into things, otherwise your opponent's just gonna easily kill it. You wanna generally keep it around the middle of the map, where all the fights are gonna happen. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you learned from this. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's gonna do it for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, if you guys want to be featured, go ahead and go on there's a link in the description. Just fill out that form. And I'm hoping to get more responses. I only have 3 so far, so this is probably gonna be the last one for a little while until I get more responses. But that's gonna do it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time.